What up? What up? Welcome to the Keep It Going podcast. My guy Doc is a real dude sitting with real people having real conversations. Now make sure you subscribe so that you can get notifications every Tuesday. Now let's chop it up.
And welcome once again to another fantastic episode of Keep It Goines. I have on the couch today, y'all, this is one of my favorite people on the planet. This is the Cynthia Rodolph. Cynthia, you've been a part of Cornell Christian Church for how many years now?
16.
16 years? No way.
Yes way.
You came here when I was like 19. So
Pretty much.
And so Cynthia, so today's topic, guys, is men that are mama's boys. And I gotta bring Cynthia on because I think I want to talk to more like when you are a mom, like raising boys. I want to kind of help people who are in that position. Now, some moms are single moms raising boys. You have a young strapping husband by the name of Miguel Rodolph. Michael from the hood, but it's Miguel. Michael from the hood, but Miguel Rodolph. And so it's a little different, but I think some of the dynamics are the same. Cynthia, you are, and guys, now I can't use all my time telling y'all how many reasons I have for loving this woman right here. I mean, when I tell you, we've kind of been there for each other, and over the years, and she's did a phenomenal job with Christopher Rodolph, her baby, no matter how old the boy be. How old is Chris now?
21.
21?
Just turned 21 in February.
Oh my goodness. That is the craziest thing in the world.
I know, right?
And so she knows I gotta tell y'all the story.
Oh, Jesus.
So Christopher decides he wants to play football. AAU football. Now, when I tell you this is the mother hen, this is the queen mother hen. So Christopher decides he wants to play football. So I go out there to watch him practice with all the boys. I'm sitting over there watching practice, and it gets time for a water break. All the boys strike out for the water thing. They drinking water, all that good stuff.
The water hose.
The water hose or wherever it was. But there's one little boy, he's running the opposite direction. And he's running towards the little light-skinned woman over on the sideline. She has this boy's own little thermos, the water tested, little picnic on the side. I'm like, what? I said, Cynthia, leave that boy alone. Let that boy go play. Now, that water's nasty. He ain't drinking out that water. He's a boy. Let the boy drink the water hose water. But that is Cynthia Rodolph. So, Cynthia, I want to ask a couple of questions because, oftentimes, we always worry about our daughters. Like when a daughter comes to the world, mom, dad, we're so concerned about daughters for obvious reasons, like protection. We want to make sure she's not getting in the wrong situations and who's going to watch out for her and someone may take advantage of her. And so those are things we're concerned about with our daughters. But, moms have concerns about their sons as well.
Exactly.
Let me ask you, what are maybe the top couple of concerns that a mom has when they have a little boy? What goes your mind? What are you concerned about with that little boy?
For him to feel safe and comfortable in the environment that he's in. Mm-hmm. For him to be confident.
Okay.
And to be loved, and to feel that love.
And so is that like a fear that he may not, because with a little boy, we figure like a little boy, they'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like usually we don't worry about their physical safety because they're little boys. But you're saying yours is different. You worry about his physical safety as well.
Exactly. I mean, when you look at the world today, you better be concerned if you have a son.
And you have a black son.
Exactly.
Go ahead and say it. It's okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So one of the things that we can talk, because I think to understand the mindset of a mama's boy, I think when I say mama's boy, by the way, I don't use that as a pejorative term. I don't mean that as a nefarious term against men who are raised by great moms. I just think that when you're raised by a mom, though, there are some differences of how we think and move and operate because our mom was so prevalent in our lives. I was also raised by a mom, but I'm not sure if I was a mama's boy or not, but I may have been, not even know it. But I wanted to ask Cynthia, some things so we can know like what environment that little boy grew up in. He's now a man. For instance, when it comes to discipline, right? Who was the disciplinarian in your home, you or Michael?
Me.
Absolutely. I was wondering, did y'all see how her eyebrows went in?
Well, and let me preface that by saying that my husband and I were raised differently. Growing up, I did not get spankings. I didn't. I can count that. Well, I had one spanking and one shaking.
Was it by Miss Jean or by your dad?
The spanking was by Miss Jean the one time, and the shake was from my dad, which I deserved a spanking. But he was I was a daddy's girl, and just being sassy mouth. And
Not
so,
sassy mouth.
Sassy mouth. And so he was like, you're not going to talk to me like that.
Wow, so you've always had a problem with your mouth. I'm sorry, I digress. So did you spank?
I speak up for myself.
Yes,
okay?
you do. Now, did you spank Christopher?
When he needed it.
So you were a physical disciplinarian for Chris.
I was a physical disciplinarian, but my husband was not.
Right.
They would negotiate.
Yeah. Mike's real laid
know.
back. So let me ask you: at what age was he when he stopped getting spankings? If you say 19,
No,
you're gonna
please.
fall out. Okay.
He didn't get that many. So I would probably have to say maybe second, third grade.
Oh Lord, that's okay. So he ain't got whipped in a long time.
Right. No, because of the fact that when you talk to him or when I talk to him, and I don't talk at him, I talk to him, and I express how I feel, and that is worse than a spanking for him.
Coming from you, that's worse than a spanking with anybody. This woman, when I tell you, she got the weaponry of the mouth. This arsenal. I've seen her bring hospital staffs to their knees. When her mom, Miss Jean, was at me in the hospital, them people were so scared of Cynthia Rodolph. When I came up there, she had like the SWAT team up there. So let me ask you a question. If I were to tell you that when he turned 14, that you whipping him was his choice and not yours, that he, if you tried to whip him at 14, it would have been because he allowed you to, not because you were able to. What might be your response to hearing that?
I mean, I would probably agree.
Yeah.
Because at that point, he was towering over me.
Yes. And how did that make you feel when physically you saw that? Because he's a big boy. How did that make you feel? Or did you ever come to realization that physically he was stronger than you physically? What did that do to a mom to raise a child? You go from carrying the baby to nursing the baby to feeding him, but now this boy is physically bigger than stronger than you are. How did that feel as a mom?
I was not intimidated by that because from day one, he knew where I stood. And so it didn't matter that I was here and he was here. Everything was, yes, ma'am.
And that was out of respect.
Out of respect.
It was out of respect, and because you kind of scare people sometimes. But most, and there are situations where I see moms, where I see little boys talk rough to their mama. And that's just beyond me. And when you see a little boy talking rough to his mom, is it fair to say that there's no respect there?
Absolutely.
And what would you tell the single mom who's raising a boy? How can she instill that respect from her son early? What may be 2 or 3 things you say, hey, do this, and this, to make sure you're instilling that respect? Because if all you're doing is instilling respect through fear, because certain moms say, I'll beat you up, and that's going to be cool until you turn about 13, 14.
Right.
So what you tell a mom of how is it that she can instill respect into the son, that even though he towers over you, he'll always be yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and do what you say?
Basically, when you Christopher and I have always spent a lot of time together.
Okay.
And so that respect was mutual. But when I felt, because kids get around their friends and they kind of see how
they operate
at home and what's acceptable, and they'll try it. And then, I would let them know, hey, that doesn't work here.
Wow.
anything that I'm clothing and feeding and taking care of,
Absolutely.
you're not going to talk to me any old kind of way. I'm not your friend. I'm your mother.
So you established that
Early on. And so.
Do you remember when, like, periodically I'll do the little demonstration to moms of how do you instill that fear early? You remember I get a little demonstration.
The belt ministry?
Not the belt ministry. That's my ministry. I have a ministry at our church, whereas certain mothers bring their children to me, and I whip them. I spank them. I do. It's a great ministry. Moms all over the world thank me for it. I just had a new mom sign up for it not too long ago.
Oh, Jesus.
I really did. But moms, parenthetical pause. Tell you what you do. And when you raise a little boy, and this works on little girls with attitudes as well. Here's what you do. And you got to do it at the right time. And don't wait for them to do something. Do it when they say something that's crazy. Here's what you do. Take your notes. So you get within 2 feet of them, right? You take whatever your left hand. So I can go either hand. I'll go left hand, right hand, right. But if you're right-handed, you step forward with your right foot, and you reach out and you grab this portion right here of their shirt or dress or jacket, and when you grab like this, you gotta turn and pull. One motion, and when you do that, the force of that body gonna jerk forward. And they're going to think you're a lot stronger than you really are, and their eyes will be this big. And that will get the fear of God in them early. It's just step, reach, pull. That's it. And they're going to come flying towards you. They're going to think like the bionic woman. So for especially single moms, try it, practice it. You're going to be great. They'll thank you for it later, okay? Back to you. So, Cynthia, I've also discovered that when you're a boy mom, you become a lot more sympathetic towards men. Here's what I mean by that. Oftentimes, I think that men get a bad rap. And because sometimes men aren't given the benefit of the doubt. Our court systems, society,
Right.
Men are oftentimes at a disadvantage. But when you're raising boys, well, moms with boys, they tend to be a lot more sympathetic, especially when men are accused of things and the men say, I didn't do it, and everybody says, well, yeah, you did do it. But when you are a boy mom, you tend to slow down to want to ask more questions before you convict a man so quickly. Have you noticed that you found yourself a lot more sympathetic towards men raising a young man, that you're not as quick to jump to conclusions about men's guilt? Why do you think that is? Because are you seeing Christopher in those instances or what?
Well, no, because like you said, when you have a son and you know how your own son is, and you put yourself, I would put him in that position and say, I wouldn't want anybody to falsely accuse my child or him to be mistreated or, so I think you do. And especially when a man is raising his child.
Okay.
When a man is raising his child and he's doing the best he can.
Sure.
And not trying to raise him to be a thug, as you would say. But just doing the best that he can.
I remember, you remember a conversation that you and I had. We had a conversation recently, and we was talking about my divorce. And you were toe up. When you found out about divorce, you were no good. Bless your heart.
I'm still no good.
Still no good.
Anyway.
That messed up. But you remember when I came over and you were telling me how broke up you was, you said, just go home. You need to just take your butt home. Just go home. And I asked you, I said, but you don't know what you're sending me home to. And then I said, would you send Christopher? Would you tell your baby to go back to a situation that wasn't healthy, that wasn't good? Would Cynthia Rodolph tell Christopher Rodolph, your baby, to go to a situation that was toxic or wasn't healthy or wasn't? And do you remember what you told me?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't have to repeat it.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I don't want to repeat it because it's gonna be all the way over. But my point is, I think as a boy mom, you're better poised to empathize with men in situations that they go through because you have a son. And sometimes men are vilified, but when you raise a boy, you're less quick to vilify a man.
And that's true. Mm-hmm. That's true. But when going back to that discussion that you and I had, mm-hmm. when you have two people involved that and you love deeply, mm-hmm. you know how much love I have for both you and Nikki. Mm-hmm. You guys have been such a big part of my life. Mm-hmm. You don't know the full story. And remember, I told you, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I just always feel nobody wants to be hurt. Nobody wants to be hurt. But I do feel that there's always hope for redemption. People can change. Sure. Men can change. Women can change. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And anything's beyond the realm of possibility.
Yes. But with all that being said,
my mother and father divorced twice, married and divorced twice.
God bless their life. That was before Christian Mingle. That was before these dating apps. That was before you couldn't get outside back then. So God bless their life in the country. He had your mama in Beulah.
And who?
Beulah. Wait.
Don't make me go raise him up from the dead.
Please don't raise him up from the dead. But Cynthia, with that being said, though, I hear that part of you. But now I want you to think about Christopher again.
I know.
Okay, let's do it, Christopher. If Christopher say, Mama, she took all the money. She won't stop drinking. She cheated on me 3 times. I think I'm going to go back home. What would you tell Christopher? Mama, she may have changed. What would you tell Christopher? Zoom in on this picture right here. Zoom in. What would you tell Christopher to do?
I don't know.
You say, baby, come home. You say, come. You blink your eyes. You do. Christopher, come home. Michael, go get Christopher. He's lost his damn mind.
No, I would no. If I would tell him if he didn't feel safe or he didn't feel safe.
Boy, I cannot believe you are beating around the bush like you don't talk well.
If he didn't feel safe.
If that girl accidentally stepped on his white K-Swiss, you say, Christopher, come home. You would not be misunderstanding. Has he done anything against your boy? You know you would not.
No, because again, I don't want my child mistreated. I don't want him, and I don't want anybody to be mistreated.
Good.
I do not want anybody to be mistreated.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Yes.
So I definitely don't want my child.
Absolutely.
And God help the woman who mistreats him.
Oh, God, Jesus. Now, y'all hear that last part? She said, God bless the woman who mistreats.
No, I said God help the woman.
God help, Lord Jesus. Oh, Lord, okay. God help the woman.
Who mistreats him.
So if a woman has married a mama's boy, what does she need to understand as pertains to her husband's mama? What does she need to know? If you marry mama's boy, please know this about that boy's mama.
That you don't ever want...
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You ever what?
You don't ever want to get on my bad side. You be good to him.
Yes.
I'll be good to you.
And what women need to know that. They need to know that.
I'm not gonna be all up in your business. I promise you, I'm not.
No, we ain't gonna lie.
No, you ask him now. He has a girlfriend now.
That's a girlfriend.
And I don't care. The last one, he said, "Oh, Mama, you just all up in the business." I said, "Okay." I'm not. My hands are off. I am not getting involved. Mm-hmm. Whatever you want to tell me, you tell me. I don't ask. You don't, whatever.
So is it best then for the mama's boys and the women that they love? Is it safe to say that keep mama out your business?
It depends on what kind of mama you had. I took myself out the business. I took myself out the business.
So is that best though? Is that best? To not
That's
be involved?
best because I don't want him to feel like I am. I don't want him to feel comfortable.
That's a great nugget.
Uncomfortable.
Okay.
So whatever you
nugget.
want to tell me. So she sent me a beautiful Mother's Day card and a gift. And I mean,
What's she saying? What's a gift?
A gift card to one of my stores. And so I called and I said, tell her I said thank you.
You don't have her number?
No, I didn't ask for it. I didn't ask.
The way you said no just then, you said no.
Because
I don't know,
again,
Cynthia. There's no stank on that. I don't know.
No, I will meet her next weekend. And she's looking forward to it.
Zoom in right there. God almighty.
He said she's really trying to make a good impression because she's very intimidated and nervous to meet you.
You think?
And I said, you know what? I've not done anything to make her feel uncomfortable.
Cynthia,
aside that I don't go out of my way. I don't go out of my house. No, I don't go out of my way. I talk to him, and when he says, "Oh, me and so," okay.
Okay, so just let me tell you from a third party, I'm a grown man and not a little girl he dated. You are passively intimidating. Your deal. That little girl is scared to death.
I believe so.
And here's what I need you to practice doing.
Okay.
Smile. Cynthia, I'm serious. When that girl comes, smile, Cynthia, and watch that look you do. The double take. Don't do that to the little girl. It's going to mess her up. Cynthia, you be nice. Okay.
I will be nice.
Okay, so now, but listen, let's go back to this because that is a great nugget. Would you recommend, though, and I know it's going to be tough, but is it best for a relationship, if you're a mama's boy, to not involve your mom into y'all's affairs when you're having issues with your relationship? Is that best to not involve your mom?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. Because they'll work things out and you'll still be upset.
That's fair.
So
that's
fair.
That's fair.
You work it out amongst yourselves.
That's fair.
That's not my business.
And now that's what we're saying. That is the general rule of thumb. But you feel, and I tend to agree, but there may come a point where your son needs to come talk to his mama about what's going on.
Absolutely.
And it's like, and mom, you have to be mature enough to take what he says and not hold it against a woman that he loves. Because sometimes your son is wrong. Right?
Absolutely.
And so in those cases, because another thing, do you feel that the mom should sign off on the daughter? How would you feel if he brings the young lady home, say, Mom, this the one, Mom, this the one. You like, who the one? Is that somebody outside in the car? which one? One of the two? And he said, no, Mama, this one, this is like the one. And so, okay. So all week long, you try to see it, and you just don't see it. Not only do you don't see it, you like, this ain't the one. This definitely not the one. And you tell him, because you will tell him. Mm-hmm. And he marries her anyway. If he plans the wedding anyway, what does the mama of the mama's boy do when he goes against your choice of who he wants to marry?
I mean, what can you do? You have to accept it.
What do you think you would do?
I would talk to him because we have always been able to talk. Mm-hmm. I would talk to him. I would express how I feel and why, because he's going to say, well, why do you feel that way? Mm-hmm. I'll give him my reasons why. Mm-hmm. And but then I always, at the end of every discussion we've had, because we just had a serious one this week, I have to let him, I said, now listen, I'm not angry. I've said my piece.
I'm just talking loud. I'm cussing, but I'm not angry.
No, I didn't elevate my voice. I said I'm expressing how I feel about this.
Okay.
I've said my piece, and I'm done. And no, I am not angry.
Would you go to the wedding?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So tell moms, whether or not you agree with your boy's choice or not, go to the wedding.
Go to the wedding.
Because now, and I can tell you right now, whoever your boy lays down with that night, that's who has the last say.
Absolutely.
And moms, he loves you, he honors you, but his wife, she gonna win. You do not want to get into a tug of war match with that boy and who he chose to give his heart to. Exactly. He had to love you by default. I'm sorry, he did. You raised him, you fed him. He had every reason to love you, right? He chose to give his heart to this woman, and she giving him some too. It's gonna be hard to win against that.
Well,
and so I want to also just want to kind of back you up with that. Don't try to fight her, because you gonna lose. It's best to lay in the cut, wait and listen and pray, and give him room to come back to you. That's the best way to do it.
And that's exactly what I'm doing now. I mean, I'm serious when I say I do not get. He'll share things with me, and okay, and that's it. I mean, I don't say anything. In fact, when we just my husband and I, we just came back from vacation, and I said, and I always text, Chris, what do you want? What kind of souvenir do you want me to bring you back? And he always liked hoodies wherever we go. Bring back a hoodie. So then I said, what would she like?
Did you say it like that?
I said, and what would she like?
You started saying how she said it.
And my stepsister was like, what?
That's different.
I said, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to play nice.
You be nice when that girl come down and see you too. I'm going to come by too. Invite me over.
I am going to see her. We're going to DC. She's not coming here.
Zoom in.
We ain't ready for that yet.
So look. Here's the thing I want to say. Here's what I want to say to all of you ladies that are marrying or getting with mama's boys. I need you to understand something. This is the biggest heart in the world. She's one of the sweetest people on the planet. It's just the thing with her is her son is her heart, and you messing with her heart. And she already says she don't want to be hurt. She don't want to be in a bad situation. So all she's doing is making sure her son is in the best situation. And the best way to her heart is to treat her son right.
Amen.
If you're treating him right, she's gonna love you to death. Is that true?
Amen.
Either love you to death
100%.
or help you meet death. One of the two. Which one is it? Says
you said it right. love them to death or help you get there faster.
Oh, Lord, you're going to go to court. They're going to run this tape. Listen, now go back to May 11th when Dr. Goines asked you the question. You said that you help her meet death. And so, yeah, but I think, though, oftentimes women, they start to hate their mother-in-law. She don't like me. They sort of hate the mother-in-law. And I think they lose focus on how much. I tell people all the time, mothers, when they look into your child's eyes as infants, they make some promises to that baby. I mean, it may not be out loud, but when a mom holds a baby, she makes some promises like, I'm going to always be here for you. I'm going to always protect you. She makes these promises, and those bonds aren't cut just because the son gets married.
Right.
So you have to honor that relationship. You got to respect that relationship. And because if he truly is a mother's boy and he loves his mama, hear me, ladies, if he's truly a mama's boy and he loves his mama, he may choose you in your peace. Matter of fact, he likely will choose you in your peace over his mama. But he may start to grow to resent you for making him choose.
And that's one thing I would never want him. I would never put my child in that position to choose me over her. I don't want him. I want him to be happy. I want him to experience having a fulfilled life, a family, and someone that he can grow old with. I look forward to that.
Okay.
So, I mean, I got mine. You need to get yours
Come on, got
in
mine.
due time. stay focused on what you're doing right
in due
now.
time. Because what if he says he's ready to propose when he comes home? Zoom in right there. So cameras zoom in.
I'm not even concerned about that in the least.
Because you know that ain't gonna happen, right?
No, he knows. I mean,
He knows what?
He knows to stay focused. Stay focused. You're in school.
He's 21, right?
He's 21.
Okay.
And he's in the engineering program.
Yes, he's doing his thing.
And he's doing wonderful things. So don't stop.
But Mom, at what point is it, but the boy say he ready to get married, and you said, no, you stay focused. Do you feel, big question. Zoom in right there. I need camera zooming right there. At what point, honestly, do you feel as though, because right now, when you say stay focused and no, that means like you don't have, getting married is not an option for you, right? It's not an option for this grown man. At what point do you feel as though he does not have to obey you anymore?
I don't look at it as a matter of obeying me.
Okay.
I think it's just respecting me.
Your opinion,
and how I feel, especially when I can articulate to him exactly what's going on.
Sure.
You're in school. We're taking care of you and all your expenses. How can you afford to take care of a wife?
So, because that's what I was about to say. I think that the moment you're no longer feeding him, as long as you're feeding it, you have every right to direct it. But the moment, because you could be an adult and not grown.
Correct.
Hell, you heard me. He's an adult, but you're not grown until you take care of yourself.
Exactly.
And so when he becomes grown, that's the point I would say. He said, Mom, I hear you. I respectfully disagree with what you're saying. And that would be the day that he dies.
No, because he'll tell me that now about, when I'm trying to tell him, like, say, for instance, watch your spending.
Oh, yeah.
Watch your spending. I need you to start banking money now.
So in our closing 3 minutes, tell me something that you wish you would have done different as a boy mom to prepare him for manhood. What's something that you wish you would have done differently?
Something that I wish I had done differently was not have been as territorial with him and allowed my husband, his dad, Mike was always there. Sporting event. He's been that dad. Birthday parties, other kids' birthday parties, whatever. But just kind of step back some and let him, have more father.
So you see the benefit of definitely having that masculine male figure.
Oh yeah.
And how has that shown up? That what have you seen that says, okay, that's the area, right? What have you seen that makes you say, I should have let Mike have more access?
When he called and told me he had a girlfriend, and I said, well, did you tell your dad? He said, now you can tell him. Oh. And so I'm like, dude.
We didn't really, okay.
And so
yeah.
I didn't tell him. I said, no, you tell him. But then yesterday, Mike said, Christopher called and said, hey, Dad, the Bills are playing in New York, and I can't remember who they're playing. And so, he didn't know they were playing in New York. He said, why don't you fly out and we go to the game?
Oh,
and so
that's dope.
Mike and then he looked at, he said, that game is in Buffalo. He said, I don't think he knew that. So, I thought, well, he asked.
I like that because I think, and I'll tell you, as dads, because one thing I can say about Nikki, she's always been a great mom, right? Always been a great mom. I have no complaints with like motherhood skills, and something that I've noticed now that we're no longer together, I noticed how much, and I've always been like very hands-on with my boys, but I've noticed though apertures of things I took for granted that she had covered, that she checks her boxes. And so now I'm finding myself being more intentional to interact with them and speak with them and talk to them, because I'm like, wow, I've kind of missed out on some stuff.
Yeah.
And so I can definitely see the benefit of a mom stepping back in making sure that that's, especially that son, I say daughter too, to be honest with you, have some interaction with a man, her dad, his dad, who will love him with no strings attached. And just get accustomed to have a conversation like with a man.
Right.
That's good.
Especially when the dad is present and he's there and he wants to be.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, no, he's mine, you know. And so that was coming up, and now
said,
that
"No,
he's
he's
an
mine."
adult, now that he's an adult, you know, I have to make space for that because that's important for him to have that close ties with his dad as well.
Well, I will say, there's a testimony that, you know, when I was young, me and mom had beef. You know, 17 years old, kicked out on the street. And back in the days, you know, not woman alive that can take my mama's place. You know, when I was in school with the big boys breaking all the rules.
Oh, Lord.
When things went wrong, and blame mama. But even though she was a crack fiend, mama always was a black queen, mama. And this has been another great episode of Keeping It Going. Keep it going. Listen, for all you missed that, mama with no crack, no shame, mamas who were. That was Tupac. Okay, okay. Cynthia, thank you so much for being my guest. And Cynthia, and she's a chef. She got me some food in the back. Can't wait to go eat. Cynthia, thank you, love you. Hey, everybody, remember, keep it going. Peace. Good one, girl. Good job.
That was good, wasn't it? Now that you know who my man is, go follow Doc on IG at Doc_Goines. I'll see y'all next Tuesday back on the block.